Now we're going to open the Blackfin CX package up. So this is the bag that comes with the package. You might notice there's a few scuffs on it. This package has been used a bit. A lot of people like to show the things brand new and how they look, but I personally kind of like to show the package after it's been used a bit, just so people know what to expect. So to open up the package, you just unzip these front zippers here. And there you go, you have your electric pump fins, the board, and then on the sides, there are loops for the paddles. I like to put them on both sides so that it evens out the distribution and everything can go inside the package. So who is the Blackfin Ultra CX for? Blackfin Ultra CX is for smaller to medium-sized paddlers who are new, or if you're a bit taller like me and you have a little bit of experience with paddle boards, this is a pretty good board to have as well. It's meant to be a bit of a hybrid between a touring board and all-around board. It is one of the quicker and more maneuverable all-around boards that I've tested. It's also a board where you can stow a good amount of cargo thanks to these bungee deck webbings and the front and the back. You can also have families on this board. So for example, kids, maybe even a small dog. If you remove this bungees, there's some handles at the front and back. Although if you have a kid, I recommend you put them at the front. This board is also good for people who want to travel. Thanks to the compact package, like I showed earlier, you can bring it in with airlines, you could shove it in an RV, car trunk. You can even carry it as well. Like if you're on a scooter, motorbike, you can have it on your back. Now onto the specifications of the Blackfin Ultra CX. The length is 10'6". The width is 31.5 inches, although there are instances where it is 30.5 inches measured. And the thickness is 6 inches. Board weighs 19.8 pounds and has a package weight of 33.3 pounds with the backpack and the little case. And the material is made of a dual layer PVC with cross-threaded drop stitch material. Now what that means is essentially the threads are in a wicker pattern, so they're actually more strong as opposed to just a single threaded material. Blackfin Ultra CX has a maximum weight capacity of 320 pounds, which means you can fit a couple adults on there, but I would be seated because this is not the most steady all-around board I've tested. There is a little bit more rocking back and forth. So 2 adults seated, or you could have an adult and a kid, or adult and small to medium-sized dog. Okay, so what are my overall on-water impressions of the Blackfin Ultra CX? I liked it personally. I've also tried a bunch more boards, so I can see how this board is a little bit more on edge. Whenever you do certain maneuvers like that, for example, you can feel a tiny bit more kickback. Can a beginner learn on this? Yeah, absolutely. But keep in mind, there will be more of a learning curve, and you'll probably find yourself in the water a few more times than you would if you had like the All-Around 11 Ultra or even the Cruiser Ultra, which is probably the most stable of the Ultra series. Overall, I do like the speed of this board. I also like this paddle a bit better than the All-Around 11 Ultra. I like how this part is carbon, while the one they give you with the other Ultra series, the handle is plastic. So this definitely gives you a nicer feel in the hands. It feels smoother. It just feels like a better user experience when you're using this paddle. Now, obviously, this is a board that you have to fold in half lengthwise, and as a result, you need to make it as compact as possible. So with that, you will get a few give or take scenarios. In this case, the give is the 5-piece paddle. You can feel the bend whenever you paddle harder.
With recreational paddles like this, it feels fine. Like you won't be able to feel that much of a difference, but I found as soon as I put force on the paddle and I really start to get going, there's a lot more play on it. I do like this board's deck. Obviously, that's not beer, by the way. That's a towel and water. I swear I don't get drunk before my reviews. Yeah, I do like also how this board has kept a lot of the things that make Blackfin a good series, be it there's a lot less things. Like for example, there's 3 action mounts versus the 8 that other Blackfin models have. But I would also say this is one of the quicker Blackfin models due to the width. Overall, do I recommend the Blackfin Ultra CX? Yep. It's a great board on the water, especially if you have some paddleboarding experience under you. You want a quick board that maneuvers well. Like, I really like the response on this board. I think this is one of the more responsive boards I've tested. So I really like that. I like how just certain things it can turn fairly quickly. Like let's just say going towards these boats, and I could just turn a little bit, and just like that I can pretty much go the other way. Other boards you'll probably need a couple of strokes to do that. Of course the wind is helping me in this scenario, but nonetheless.
Now we're going to be doing the nose to tail specs. So starting off at the nose, you have a little handle right at the nose there, followed by 3 rows of bungee deck webbing, and you can see there's child handles there. Over here is the action mounts. It's an M8 mount, which means you can mount things such as GoPros, fishing rod holders, cup holders. iRocker actually has a lot of different ones. So let me get to the deck pad. You can see the deck pad takes up about 2/3 of the board. Over here you have the D-rings. So these D-rings can be used for the iRocker kayak seat. So you see there are 4 of them. You'll also notice that the handle is slightly off center, and that's to help with the folding lengthwise. And this is actually also an advantage because shorter people, or people who have maybe arms that are not as long as perhaps taller individuals, it's easier for them to carry this board just because the handle is a bit higher up. Going to the back here, you can see the deck pad ends. You got 2 rows of bungee deck webbing and 2 child's handles over here, followed by another action mount and the D-ring that supports the ankle leash, as well as the rear handle. Now we're going to show the bottom of the board, nose to tail specs. So as you can see, shape is a little bit more pointed compared to a lot of all-around boards. You also see that these are the carbon side rails that add a little bit of a layer of extra support. There's a nice Blackfin logo. Then followed by, what's this? 2 fins. Now this fin setup is a little bit different compared to a lot of other all-around boards that have the 2+1 fins. So I'll get more into that on the on-water testing in terms of how they affect the board compared to others. You can see the link on the top of the video there, or in the description, about the comparison of testing where I compare the All-Around 11 Ultra to the All-Around 11 board that has a 2+1 fin setup. So these are the accessories that come with the Blackfin Ultra CX. There's the bag, the carry strap, as well as the pouch that has the fins, the electric pump, and a few other stickers, instructions, and a leash, as well as the 5-piece paddle. Now we're going to take a look at the bag. The dimensions of this specific bag when the board is inside is 10 by 16 by 21. So as you can see, this bag is a lot more compact compared to a lot of other SUP bags. So it has deck webbing at the front just to clip on things such as kayak seats, etc. You got your side pockets here on each side here. Excuse the shadow. And finally, you have a little Velcro layer here. So as we open this up, you can kind of see the space inside the bag. You can also see the loops for the paddle. There are also clips on the side too. Finally, we look at the back. So you can see there's a good amount of padding here for the back. And whenever I carry this backpack, it's pretty good. Also some extra loops for the shoulder straps. Next, we'll go through the little ultra soft case that comes with the package. So we have everything all inside here, minus the fins, which are on the board. But usually the fins go inside this pouch. So when you open it up, it features the leash. You have the hose, the repair kit, and of course a few stickers, the instruction booklet that I must say is a little bit mangled because this has been used a bit, and finally the electric pump. The dimension of this case is 15 by 9.1 by 3.7 inches. This is the Blackfin Ultra 5-piece paddle. So how you adjust it is you line the little pin up here, you open it just by bringing this back. And so this adjusts from 77 inches all the way to 87.5. Now the blade is made of carbon and it is actually, it floats in the water. The blade is made of nylon. You can see there's a couple of scratches just from use. But overall, still holding up really well. Works good. Now, the only issue I have with this paddle is the fact that when you're paddling, there's some play. So you can feel the bending points because it's a 5-piece paddle versus a 3-piece paddle where it feels a lot more solid. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about the fins. The fins are snap-on. So you could pull this guy up and they just release. Vice versa, you put them in here, snap it in. You can also lock these in place because I have heard some horror stories that the fins do come out sometimes. So you simply just place this guy there and you go all the way over to lock it in. These fins are made of nylon and they are 9 inches. This is the iRocker pump that comes with the board. Now we're not going to go super in depth in this as we're going to link other videos to the exact workings of the pump. But just to give you a bit of an overview, this valve over here is for inflate and this is for deflate. So you'd use the deflate for whenever you're packing up these boards. And I especially recommend it for something like the Ultra series because whenever you're folding it in half lengthwise and you want to get back into the bag, it always helps whenever there's as much air as possible that is taken out of the board. And so over here is the PSI/bar. So whether you want this as PSI bar, this allows you to control the PSI/bar that you use. I usually do 15, but this thing can go up to 20. Auto is to start it. High is basically
manual high pressure mode, so it just automatically kicks into high gear, while low is manual low pressure mode, which brings you into gear. And the instructions are just right over here as well. It comes with a cigarette lighter. Now, there's a whole bunch of cord in there, but this just goes into the cigarette lighter of your car. But it also comes with crocodile clips as well. I would recommend the crocodile clips for whenever you are doing like 3 or 4 paddle boards, just because in past experience I've had the cigarette lighter break the breaker in the car from too much use. Do a quick little mention on the Blackfin repair kit. So this comes in the pouch, has a valve wrench, some glue, as well as 2 different colored patches. So what do I like and dislike about the Blackfin Ultra CX? Things I like are the fact that it has a good amount of bungee deck webbing room, so you can carry a good amount of stuff with it, and it's also easily removable thanks to the clips. There's 3 action mounts, which allows you to mount GoPros, cup holders, rod holders, etc. I really like the way this bag is designed as well. I think it's innovative. You haven't seen any other bags designed like that for these types of boards, so I thought it's very well thought out, and everything fits in the package pretty well once you fold it. I like that they also include an electric pump. That is really handy, and it actually started a lot more manufacturers including electric pumps with their board. I also like how lightweight this board is. It's easy to carry at 19.8 pounds. It's good for small to medium paddlers. Loved how the board is maneuverable. There's actually quite a bit of fun to paddle. It's one of the more fun all-around boards you have. The speed is also very quick whenever you're paddling. You go at a pretty decent clip. Especially the acceleration is really good. Now, onto the things that I feel they could have improved on. So one of them is the paddle. While the paddle is 2 pounds and it's fairly lightweight compared to some other all-around SUPs, there is a lot of bend, and whenever you're doing a paddle stroke, I find that you feel the connection points. There's a little bit more play involved. Now, if you're a recreational paddler, it won't matter too much, but if you're trying to start doing some speed, I recommend getting a 2 or 3 piece fiberglass or carbon fiber paddle. I did also find that the 2 fin setup, well, it sort of helped the board track while you're going at a decent rate. They do catch up on a lot of weaves. The Blackfin Ultra comes with a 2-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Now, the 60-day is actually one of the longer ones in the inflatable SUP industry, so that's pretty good. Now, the warranty is a bit limited in terms of it's mostly against manufacturing defects. It doesn't cover wear and tear, improper storage, the board being out in the sun, improper use, basically damage from external elements. So after all this, is the Blackfin Ultra CX a good buy? Yes, I believe it is, but it depends on the type of paddler you are. If you are just starting out and you're a taller guy like me or a taller gal, I would maybe go more towards the All-Around 11 Ultra board, just because you have a little bit of extra stability. Now, if you are a small to medium-sized paddler, I think you will like this board quite a bit. It's very maneuverable, it's quick in the water, accelerates well. You can also paddle it if you are my height, but you need a little bit of paddleboard experience, or you're going to have a bit of a learning curve, and if you don't mind falling into the water, then it'd be a pretty good board, especially starting out. The accessories are really good. I do feel that this package brings a lot of value with the bag, the pouch,
paddle is fairly decent as well. I do like the finish of the handle. Just like I said, the bend is a little bit something that I have to work on. You can get a good amount of storage on this board. These bungees, they come off. So yeah, overall, I'd say it's a good buy.